This installation is for the metal pedestal OCU. Okay, the first thing you want to do is set up your kit A for the type of installation you have. So in this case, we're going to be doing a side mount installation on the tower OCU. So you'll pull out your power supply. And what I do normally is just use this box for garbage too. Keeps it from blowing all over the place. Take the unit out. The best part about this is you can just go ahead and use this box for all your components. Take your hardware kit, put it right inside the box. Once again, use this for your garbage. Put that aside. For side installation, make sure your photocell is on the right-hand side, and take your surround bracket, bring it up through the back, set it right down. Take your offset bracket and make sure that this flange does not go past this area. This bracket does not go past this area. Set it down, grab one of your machine screws, put it in the top, put it in the bottom, put it in the center, and you want to finger start all these before you drill it in place. It might be easier to take your stubby screwdriver and start these on the other side if you can't get your fingers in. Set it in. Once again, so you can see it from this angle. Then take your cordless, put it on a ratchet setting. If you have the ratchet setting, you can start with top, center, end one, flip it over, same thing again. As long as you start these things finger tight, or I mean just with your finger first, then you're all set. Then just put it all back in the box and you're ready to go do your installation at the OCU. Okay, now we're opening the Kit B accessory. This will have everything else that you need for the installation. It'll be a general installation overview sheet. Your installation manuals. You'll have the insert panels. One's going to be for 75 cents. One's going to be for $1. Whichever one you decide to use, make sure you rip off the covering on both sides for which one you're going to use. You're going to have 2 of the cone surround panels. They're bagged. You just open them up and stick on the one you want. You're going to have your surround panel and insert panel storage case. There's instructions in here how to pop the panels in and out. Also, you'll have the Velcro that's going to go around the display when you install it. The insert panel removal key. Some hardware that you may or may not need. A couple tie wraps. And a plug connector that you may or may not need. After all the installation's done, make sure you put the extra surround panel and whichever insert panel you don't use and the key and put it inside this, and then close it up and make sure you give this to the manager when you're done with the installation. Okay, now that you're out at the OCU, you'll have your Kit A display already set up. You'll have the Kit B with all the components on it that we've already listed. Your tools, cordless. Now you're ready to start the installation. This is one of the newer OCU cabinets. This one right here you're going to need a key for. Make sure you buy one of these keys. The information is inside the installation manual where you can get them. The older ones will stop right about here and you only have an access panel down here and you will not need a key. But you want to remove the panel first. and you just lift up and it pulls off. Okay, the first thing you want to do is in mounting this flashlight is make sure it's center here with the display. So bring it down a little bit and flush to the front. And if you have the marker in hand, you can make a little mark here and on the back side, and then when you screw it in, you'll be able to see where your marks were. Okay, what you want to do is grab 4 of the number 8 self-tap screws and put the nylon washers over them. There's 4 of them. Then you can set these 4 screws up so that you can mount the actual display. Okay, now you're going to mount the display. You can either put a screw at the end of your drill tip and pop it in, or you can pop them in beforehand. I'm looking for a little mark that I set there, which gave me the center, and flushed it up with the front and drill it in place. Drill the top left in first, then the bottom. Make sure it's square. And you notice I got this on ratchet. If you strip out one of these screws, go ahead and go up to the number 10 screw that we have that's supplied, and you can replace this self-tap one with a number 10 if you strip it out. And then go ahead and install the back 2 screws. Now, if you notice, I got this on the ratchet setting so it won't strip out. And that's it. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and drill the 7/8 inch hole through the wall here. Make sure you drill the hole, it's below the actual OCU unit, and it's back far enough or towards the front far enough where you don't get in the way of the wire. Now this wire in most cases will have 2 screws here, and you can push it out of the way while you're drilling just so you don't damage it. But get a good location forward enough. It's usually about 3 inches from the back that you can drill through here. If you don't feel comfortable, you can start with a 1/8 inch pilot bit to get your location, and if it's good, then you can go ahead in with your 7/8 step bit. Now that you're about 2.5 inches from the back over here and lower than the actual OCU unit, and make sure your wire is clear and out of the way, go ahead and start drilling. You want to use the number 4 step drill in this case. This is 2.5 inches back from the finished part. But still, double check where you're going to go through. This is a critical drill hole. Okay, now you can go ahead and put your connector in. Put your nut on side here, tighten this up. Make sure it's good and tight. Sometimes you got to take this off and hand tighten it down. Put that back on. Okay, now if you notice, I've got the wire out of the way here, and you want to put a wire block right above where you've drilled it, about 1 inch, about the width of another wire block, and then go just below the top of it with this wire block so you can secure the wire. And then have them in a straight line and secure them. Okay, now with another self-tap number 8 self-tap screw, secure each one of them, the wire blocks in the center. Take any shavings out of the way. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and put the tie wraps through the back and secure the wire to the wire blocks. Just have the wire come down at about a 45-degree angle. As long as it's coming down is fine. Secure the wire block on the bottom. Cut off the excess, and then run the wire through here and tighten down the outer nut by hand. Okay, I usually twist the two wires together. It's easier to get it through. And pull the excess through here. And then just tighten this down. Just hand tight is fine. Okay, now that you got the wire through and into the enclosure, go ahead, run the wire down through your top hole and your bottom hole by the fans. And then just tuck it out of the way. Now we're ready to wire up the power supply. Okay, what you want to do now is I usually cut off the end of this and get a clean cut, come back about 2 to 3 inches. And I highly recommend you use one of these tools, because once you adjust it, it'll make a perfect cut every time. See, and you won't worry about damaging the conductors underneath here. Same thing on this side, I cut it off. Come back about 2 to 3 inches. Make this little cut. And then the jacket peels right off. Then come back a good 1/2 inch. Strip your conductors on both. And make your connections. Red to red. Put a gel fill connector on it. And black to black. Gel fill connector on it. Then after you're done with that, I'd put a tie wrap right here. Okay, after you've made the connections, line up your jacket, your wire jacket, and you can put on one of these small tie wraps. That'll hold the connection together. Then what I normally do is we'll neatly tie this up, and then use one of the white connectors, tie wrap wire ties across here. Now I go ahead and use one of the white tie wraps or wire ties and tie this up. Normally you'll have an outlet on the right hand side on these OCUs. In this case you don't. So this is when you'll use the plug connector that's supplied in your kit B. You can wire it in. Make sure your power is off, that you shut off the breaker inside, and it's critical that you know what neutral, hot, and ground supplies the OCU power versus the neutral, hot, and ground that will supply the menu board power. If you hook up to the wrong circuit, then the flashlight display will not come on unless the lights are on in the parking lot. So make sure you're connected to the circuit that feeds, in this case, the power supply that feeds in turn the OCU. Otherwise, you will not get the proper power connection that you need. This is when you'll use the plug connector and the power's off, wire in the ground. Then I normally do the neutral. Line the conductors. Then I'll do the hot last. Tape up these connections also. Okay, now that we have the plug connector wired in to the correct circuit, because there wasn't an outlet already placed in this OCU, go ahead, you can plug the power supply in now. Go back in and turn the breaker on if you've turned it off, and then you can go to the front and check and make sure that the flashlight display is flashing at this point. But turn your breaker back on. Okay, now that we know the flashlight is flashing in the front, we're going to go ahead and tuck our wires up and neatly out of the way. And you can use the other supplied white tie wrap that you have and just tuck it out of the way. Okay, now you'll take your Velcro strips out of kit B and apply them center area of the 3 tabs going around. On the top, align it and place them on the center. On the side, center, and aligned and center, and on the bottom. Okay, now out of your kit B again, take the cone surround panel, just lay it down on the top, the bottom, and push in where the Velcro strips are, all the way around, top, side, bottom. Next, what you want to do is take out the insert panel, either the $1 one or the 75-cent. Peel off the top protective coating and the back protective coating, and snap it in place. Just slip it up and snap it in place. To replace the surround panel and insert panel on a flashlight display, take your panel removal key, pop it into either one of these little notches and push down like you're opening a can of paint, and the panel will pop right out. Take your new panel, slip it up, and snap it in place. Take the surround panel, remove it, put the new one down, let it just slip right over the top, and push the sides where the Velcro in firmly. And that's all it takes. Now go ahead and slip the panel back on and lock it back in place. That completes the installation of a flashlight display on a metal pedestal OCU.